Hello everyone, Silent here, and welcome back to another episode of Truly a Bedrock from the Truly a Bedrock Season 2 server. I hope you're doing very fine today. Today, we need to deal with some monsters. Now you might be thinking, we just built a mob farm. The monsters are already dealt with, they're dying, giving us all their loot, and you would be correct. However, we have to deal with some much more powerful monsters. Chest monsters. So we don't have a storage system. I mean, we do, but I don't think a wall of chests counts as a storage system. As you can see, none of these, and I mean absolutely none of these, are actually organized. It's like, yeah, it's bad. Yeah, we need to get ourselves a storage system, and we need to make it fit within an 8x10 area. Is that a trident right there? That better not be the tag trident. Hold on, let me get up there. I gotta see. It's just a regular trident. Okay, so I didn't get tagged. That's good. Anyway, so we gotta make a custom multi-item storage system fit within this tiny little area right here, between the bubble column, between these walls, and that is gonna be very painful. We might have to design a completely new system, or we might have to make some serious compromises. I don't know how it's gonna go. So real quick, a super important thing that we need to do right at the beginning of this episode, while you're all still watching the video, is we need to have a proper vote for which skin is going to be the best. If you saw the previous episode, you'll know that we went through all of the community suggested skins. We got them in a fancy little skin pack right here. Lots and lots of people really liked a select few of these. This was one of the personal favorites, so was this one over here. This one was a favorite, and there's a couple more that aren't currently in the skin pack that were also favorites. However, we didn't do any form of poll. I just asked you guys to leave a comment down below with which ones you liked the best, and that was a bad idea. There's a lot of comments. So down below the video in the description is going to be a straw poll, and you can see a graphic on screen right now of the number of the skin. So whichever skin you like the most, that is the number that you need to vote for on the straw poll. So you can only vote one time, so choose wisely, and then in a couple of days, once that poll is over, we will go through it in the next episode of Truly Bedrock, and we'll see which one wins. So yeah, just look at the little graphic on screen, vote in the straw poll down below, and we will have a winner of the suggestions, and then we'll wear that one a whole lot because it's a cool skin that you guys really like. Anyway, on with the video. And before I ruin my brain forever with redstone and shenanigans, we need to check out a little bit of progress that has been made on the base. So we went ahead and decorated quite a bit in these lower floors. As you can see, this floor right here with the wool farms and the cactus farms has been pretty much fully decorated. There's probably some more details that could be added, but everything has been replaced and fully updated with the block palette of our base, and I think it actually looks pretty alright. Of course, we haven't done the exact detailing. We might do that in another live stream or in a future episode. And then, of course, this floor down here also looks nice and clean now because the ceiling actually is good, and we still got to deal with that stuff. We got to get the slime all the way up to, the storage system level. That'll be a fun project to figure out with heavy sarcasm. The super smelter level is pretty much completely done as well. As you can see, it is looking very, very fine indeed. And of course, we cleaned up the walls of the slime farm with just smooth stone, or just regular stone. So there's no more ugly, disgusting diorite, andesite, gravel, dirt, or anything, granite in the walls. It's all just nice and clean. But yeah, that is the little bit of an update on the decorations of the base. It is coming along very, very well, and I'm actually really, really excited for the future of the chunk base. Once we get a storage system installed, it's going to be just so nice. Also, it is just very difficult to get to floor 0.5, but here it is. You can see that this floor is pretty much done as well. So here is a little overview of the area that we have to work with. It is exactly 10 blocks wide and exactly 8 blocks long. It is a tiny, minuscule area, and it's really going to be quite the interesting challenge to fit a bunch of multi-item sorters in here. That is what we're going for. We're going for a multi-item storage system. Basically, that kind of storage system allows you to store up to 54 different types of items per double chest, and it depends on how you lay out the items in the chest. So it's really quite a very simple way of doing a multi-item sorter, and it works very well. It's a pretty compact way of doing it as well. If you want to know more about how multi-item storage systems work, or just want to learn more about them in general, I've made a couple tutorials specifically for Bedrock. You can check them out. Links are everywhere. So right here, we've laid out the footprint of what the smallest version of this multi-item sorter is. As you can see, it's about 9 blocks by 4, but it requires a 1 block gap between the segments, so we can actually only fit 2 on this level. So 24 double chests is not that much. However, we can actually expand these towers upward about as far as we want before we hit the mob farm. So in theory, we could get like, 30, possibly 40 double chests of room from these 2 little storage systems. However, I actually have a concept and an idea for a new type of storage system that might work out. It might be possible. I'm not entirely sure. I came up with the idea at like 4:30 in the morning while I was trying to fall asleep, so who knows the validity of it. But let's head over to creative for a second, do a little bit of testing, and see if the new concept actually works. I don't have a place for like storage systems because I haven't done one in so long, and I haven't done any storage systems in this entire testing world. So I guess I'll just put it over here, it'll be fine. I do have my super old original redstone testing world, but as you can see, this one doesn't really work that well, and it's also already been corrupted twice, and it turns out that I filled all of my storage system tech with Bedrock because the tutorials weren't released yet, and I was gonna make a world download, and I didn't want people stealing my stuff before it was released. So basically, I don't have any of my previous tech to work from, so we basically gotta start from scratch, which is really nice. Great. Good job, previous me. Thanks, World Corruption. Jeez. So this right here is the teeny tiny multi-item sorter that I was going to be building on the server. As you can see, it's not actually that teeny tiny because 4 blocks of it is taken up by a silent item elevator. Yeah, if we had quasi connectivity, that thing would be way smaller, but alas, we're not going to get into that discussion right now. So this is kind of a conversion from Exumavoid's Shulker Box Backpack Sorter from Java. It works very well actually over there. I converted it to Bedrock for a multi-item sorter, and it just works great. Now, storage systems are kind of notoriously hard for me to wrap my head around just because of timings. However, I now have the power of some cheeky things like slowing down the game, so I can see exactly what is happening here and where and when, which is so convenient for so many different things, especially circuitry, which is not really my strong suit. Anyway, this was my idea, the 4:30 a.m. idea, and it's not quite gonna work because all the items just go down to the output. None of them actually end up in the chests, which is kind of to be expected from a 4:30 a.m. idea. However, I think it's still a fixable idea simply by alternating what fires when. So this uses basically just a whole bunch of observers, but we're going to activate like basically this one, that one, and that one. And then the next section will be those 2 to activate, and that should allow us to have the items pour into the correct chest. So let me do some wiring and some circuitry stuffs, and we'll see exactly what happens. If we can't get this little concept to work, I'm probably just gonna abandon ship because these things can take me about 20 hours to design and build. So I told myself I wouldn't spend 2,000 million billion gajillion hours of designing these things. However, here I am 2 hours later. So I guess I technically succeeded that goal anyway. So as you know, this is the tiny system that we might be forced to use. A double chest sideways every couple of blocks. Very not compact. And this is the system that I've been trying to design for years and years, where you can have a double chest sideways like this, stacked on top of each other, every single block in a wall. And this is basically the most compact you can really get it. But I have actually gotten this system to work. Finally! The timings were a complete pain, and basically what you're looking for is these hoppers to lock in alternate. So basically you want like these hoppers to lock, and then the ones between them to lock, and then basically just, repeat that cycle so that they alternate. If they're all green at one time, that means that they're all unlocked, and that's how you're going to have lossy items in your system. So if we go ahead and show off of this thing right here, and we can slow down the game, you can see that these things always alternate. Sometimes they're all locked, and that is perfectly fine. Not a big deal. Not worried about that. Although it probably could be refined with some timing messing aroundness. But yeah, as you can see, that actually is a functional system. So finally, yay! Years it took me to do that. Now, I would love to compactify this system to the point where we could just have the hoppers right in front of these observers and repeaters. However, getting the timings for that is a complete nightmare, and I have not been able to figure out how to get that to work. Because sometimes, no matter what you do with the timings, they're all unlocked at one time. I've done a lot of work with the timings and testings over here, and I just cannot get anything to work properly. However, if I could refine the timings enough, then we can actually shave off an entire 2 blocks of the system. We wouldn't need the redstone torches. We wouldn't need these solid blocks. We could compactify the system down a whole lot, and that would save us so much room. Oh no. I'm very confused now. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? I'm very sad about that. That is really stupid. They're alternating. They're alternating and like they're not all green at one time, but they don't go into the chest. They just fall all the way through the system. Why? Why? Oh, that's so stupid. This is why things aren't nice. Why we can't have nice things. I would expect the items to fall through with this system, but like none of them go into the chest? Oh man. I spent so long getting that to work. Sadness. Okay, well, whatever. No tutorial for that thing. It sucks. Let's just build these things. These things work. None of this stuff works. I'm sad now. Okay, logging off. So the good news is we can actually fit 3 of the tiny little auto sorters in here, which is a good thing. So we can fit 1 right there, we can fit 1 right here, and we can fit 1 right here as well. And also, I'm gonna make these things a little bit taller as well. That way we can have a couple extra double chests of storage on the top. And other than that, I'm still very sad about my failures with multi-item sorters in the redstone world. This is why I don't do storage systems anymore. Anyway, we will talk about that. Let me get some stuff built up. So here is one of these systems. Notably, this one does not have an item elevator, and that is because the items already fall in from the top with this kind of sorter, so you don't even need to pump them up on the back side of this one, if you know what I mean. The first 2 segments will need elevators, but the last one won't. The output chest is just going to be right here on the end, so should be pretty fine. I decided to turn the chest to the side because then it's going to be a little bit nicer as we're standing in the middle of the room. It's going to be a very, very, very cramped room. And I also turn this one to the side as well. Now, because these things are so much taller than normal, the actual floor layer is going to be like 3 blocks higher than that floor. So that means that we're going to stand right here. We'll be able to easily reach the bottom chest and then easily reach the top chest as well. So that is kind of the plan. I already got one of those things installed. Alright, so all 3 of the storage systems are now in place. You can see that we got the mini one that doesn't need an elevator, and then these 2 that have elevators, and it's the tiniest bit ridiculous in here now. So if we jump around, you can see that, yeah, there's really not that much room. We got one silo of chests there, another silo over there, and then our 3rd silo right here, and there really is just no room to move around. I haven't moved the bubble column, and I haven't moved the floor upwards yet. However, yeah, this is approximately how much room we got. Now, notably, this is also by using the, standard silent item elevator. If we switch these over to bubble columns, which we could very well do that, we could actually save ourselves 2 blocks, meaning that this line of chests would be 2 blocks over this way. This one would be 2 blocks back, basically at that location. And then the other one would also be 2 blocks backwards as well. And I kind of want to do that. So now that we've fully built up the entire thing, yeah, it's time to tear it down and push it back. Today is not my day, is it? I don't know what's up with me. Maybe I'm just not in the mood for doing things correctly or properly. But yeah, let me move these back. I'll at least move this one back and set it up with a bubble elevator, and then we can choose from there what really works. And that is a lot more reasonable. We got like a full-on 4-block space between the chests. Oh my god, who would have thought? Also, I completely forgot that, like, glass elevators were a thing because we now have the proper item physics on a Bedrock edition. So if we put, well, I guess there's already some things in there, but if we power that, you'll see that the item just goes whee all the way up to the top. It's very convenient. We don't even need bubble elevators because bubbles are stupid, and I officially don't like them. This elevator, it's not a very good elevator. I mean, it works, but it's not user-friendly at all. Anyway, so that is the first one moved back. I now need to move back the other 2 as well. So much better. This is actually, like, usable. Look how beautiful this is. Also, yes, it's not even. I'm sorry, I shouldn't point it out, but it's my duty to tell you that there's a 1-block gap right there. And then on this side, there's a 2-block gap, and there's literally nothing that I can do about it. I'm sorry. It's just, these things are 3 wide. We have like whatever 10, 12 block wide space. It's just, there's nothing I can do about it besides rotating these chests to the side, which we will do. That way they line up with the bubble columns. So the chests are going to be just like that. So there you go. That's going to be our little compromise for the day. So all of these will be pushed back a block. The entire thing is going to be beautiful, and you are not going to complain about it being off-centered. So something you guys haven't seen yet is the super smelters actually working, and this is something that I'm rather proud about because it's kind of just a clever, tiny little design. So of course you put the items that you want to smelt in the top, and then you can press the button, and that will send them around to get everything smelting. Of course there's going to be a bunch of stuff in here because we kind of mined out the floor above it in the last episode, but something else that you can automatically do is have these things stop like returning. So naturally what this system does is it will automatically relaunch this minecart when it still has things in it to smelt, and that's what happens when that lever is flicked upwards. So if that goes around, delivers some more items, and then it comes back, it'll automatically relaunch, or at least it should. Of course, the one time I got to show it. Of course. I probably broke something in the back there, but that should be what happened. Yes? Maybe? Yeah, see, that one works. I'm not lying. This one's just broken and it doesn't want to help me out. Come on, don't you know I'm having a rough day? Just work already. But yeah, this one automatically relaunches when it has things in it to further smelt. And then this also controls the minecart hopper, which picks up all of the items from the system as well. I don't know why it's broken, but I'm adding that to the list of things that hates me today. Anyway, moving on. So overall, I feel like today has actually been a pretty successful episode. We did waste a couple hours in creative trying to figure out a better design. We completely and utterly, completely, massively failed because I'm just terrible at designing storage systems, apparently. But it was still kind of fun, and maybe someday I'll come up with a better design. In the meantime, this little tiny thing, it does actually work pretty well. It's not compact, it's a tiny amount of storage, but honestly, sometimes you don't need a ton of storage. We got 3 of these things for a total of 21 double chests of multi-item storage. Each one of these things can store up to 54 different items, and then of course we can put shulker boxes inside of these as well. So overall, it's gonna work, it's gonna fit our needs, and it kind of goes with the, you know, teeny tiny tower as well, because nothing in the space is particularly high-tech, especially this mob farm. So if we had like a super overpowered storage system in here, it just kind of wouldn't fit the feel, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's been a pretty well-rounded episode. We had some successes, some failures, we might have cried a little bit, and in general, everything just turned out well in the end, so I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Now, the next thing that we need to do is the most painful part of any storage system build, and that is actually configuring the system and telling it what you want to sort where. This can take many hours, and the more chests you got, the longer it takes, but luckily we only got 21 chests because we built a terrible system. Yeah, so I'll probably do this in between episodes or on a live stream or something like that. So by time next episode rolls around, all of these chests should be like configured and all of them should be sorting all of the different items, and it should just be lovely. So I'll take care of the few little details between episodes, like building in this floor. I don't think I'm going to move the bubble column. It shouldn't need to happen now. And otherwise, things it just turned out pretty well. So make sure to vote on the straw poll that is down in the description and in the pinned comment. I very much am curious and interested in knowing which skin is your favorite. And of course, if you vote, I will know. So thank you for voting on that poll. And also, if any of you out there are big-brained people with many smarts and 205 IQ, maybe you could take a look at the parts of this video where I showed the storage system and help me with the timings, or just tell me that I'm big, stupid, and make me figure it out myself. I don't know. I know that there are functional storage systems like the one I'm trying to create on a Bedrock edition, but I want to figure stuff out myself, or like have our community come up with something. I don't really like using other people's designs. I like figuring stuff out myself and designing my own things. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's episode of Truly Bedrock. I hope that you have enjoyed. Of course, if you did, then make sure to leave a like on the video, as it significantly helps out the video and the channel a ton. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you see more episodes like this in the future. And otherwise, I will see you all down in the comment section and in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. And then there was silence.